Yo, what's good, guys? Today we got American foods that are banned in other countries. Now, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little scared because I want to know how much of this food do I eat on a regular basis? Will any of this surprise me? Will any of this be like stupid? Let's hear it right now.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food. But that belief may not hold up to scrutiny. From unsanitary practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right, this week we're talking about American foods that have been banned by other countries.
First off, can we talk about the fact this video is giving me some super old school vibes?
But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. Then leave a comment and tell us what other world food facts you would like to know more about. Now let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is.
Skittles. What?
Since the dawn of Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and the yellow ones, they give you cancer. Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children. Sweden and Norway have banned the candies out of concern. The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors. This is because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide to damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer. While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up. In May...
Okay, wait, then why not just use different dye? Why the fuck would a company use dye that's gonna give people you're gonna kill your customers? How stupid is that? Come on now.
Titanium dioxide.
Yeah, okay, yeah, y'all kind of right on this one. If what he's saying is true, yeah, y'all kind of on point.
To damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer. While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up. In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound. You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation. California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
I already don't like this video. Bro, man, really, right? They already ruining one of my favorite I can't eat Skittles no more, y'all. I'm gonna get fucking cancer. Man, that's... by the way, I should say, I'm saying it sarcastically.
They toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe.
Skittles
Just
for
go
me.
have some Swedish fish instead.
It's only been 2 minutes, and they're already ruining some of my favorite candies.
Ever looked at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life, but let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that? As great as we talk about the invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves. That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives. Like azodicarbonamide, for example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga mats. Downward dogs.
I'm sorry, what? They put the same thing in bread as they do in yoga mats? That's outrageous. That's wild, bro. Nah, that's wild. What's
Fun
that
fact
shit
about
called?
azodicarbonamide.
Azocarbonamide. Close enough. Nah, bro, what the fuck?
It's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga mats. Downward dogs. The European Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use in food products.
You know what? You're valid. Yeah, don't. Hey, listen. Don't. If you want to have a good country, one of the first things you can do, don't feed your citizens yoga mats, you know? Like, if any of you watching this are ever going to have your own country, keep that in mind. Pork. What?
Pork, the other white meat, is a staple of American meats, along with chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of pig per person every year. Soo-wee, my heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans. So why doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many pig farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption. This in turn has led to a prohibition of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009.
Damn.
China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms.
Okay. Why? Like, first off, like, we're gonna ignore the whole fucking slaughter-filled place, because honestly, if it's my choice, I don't even want to get, meat from those places, because I'd rather get it from animals that weren't panicking in their last moments, because for one, generally the food tastes better when it's not, and two, they don't add all that shit, and also, most importantly, it's not cruel to the animals, well, less cruel to the animals to be like in a slaughter field than just on their farm with a quick little to the head. But that's beside the point. What I'm getting at, why? Like, why would you, first off, want to feed your livestock that shit, which is going to have them disease-ridden, passed down to any kind of offspring, and, like, that's stupid alone. And number two, what is the obsession with the U.S. putting the dumbest, unneeded chemicals into food?
If consumed in large enough quantities, but it is a small price to pay for a perfect piece of the pork. Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it FDA approved, and chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American food regulators decided a quick chlorine shock was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry.
That's outrageous.
Chlorine marinade. And look, it's not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning Band-Aid on a larger problem. The tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just the normal bacteria and don't get at a potential contamination from things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene. That hurts extra to hear it from the French.
I mean, yeah. Again, that's why I just think... Now, this doesn't go for all farmers, we should say, right? Because, there are a lot of good places, but, the giant factory farms just need to treat their animals better. And not only would that, for one, lessen the disease and get rid of the need that these people think they have for all these stupid-ass chemicals, but two, you're going to have higher quality food that you can charge more for. Wouldn't that be a good thing? Even, again, just as a business. It makes more sense.
Mountain Dew is the closest any soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned?
What?
That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as yellow 5. And if your ADHD hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people. Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, overcaffeinated lifestyle. Do the do. Baja Blast. Woo-hoo. And while you might be able to find Mountain Dew in Europe, it's going to hit a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s.
Look at this man's face. Nah, can we reload that? We gotta rewind. We gotta rerun.
And while you
this.
might be able
Look
to
at
find
this man's
Mountain
face.
Dew in Europe, it's going to hit a little different.
My man said, "Whoa, I'm willing to bet you this is a European dude trying American Mountain Dew, because when I was a kid and I had my first Mountain Dew, I made that exact face. I was like, yep."
That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the Dew before discontinuing it.
Man.
What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew...
then y'all basically got like the original Mountain Dew almost. Now I want to try European... Yo, listen... Can somebody in Europe get in touch with me and send me a Mountain Dew? I can't send you guys a Mountain Dew back because, stupid laws and stuff. Not even stupid, honestly. It kind of makes sense. What's that point? I want to try a European Mountain Dew. I need it.
Was meant as a whiskey mixer, with a name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
Okay, now, how are Little Debbie's so bad? Come on now.
Little Debbie has been providing Americans with comfort snack food since the 1960s, with their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars, fudge rounds, and cosmic brownies. But their big claim to fame, as anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls, a mixture of rich chocolate cake and buttercreamy filling. Over 900 million cartons of Little Debbie.
Those things, listen, those things are probably half the reason I'm as fat as I am today, damn it. These things are
Products
good
are
as hell.
shipped each year, but none of those cartons go anywhere near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, yellow 5 and red 40. Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, and in those quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children. And we're not just talking about causing hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be 1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin. And while we can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring and cancer...
Okay, I don't get why companies want to artificially color their food. Like, that's so dumb to me, man.
They do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly.
Oh, shit.
For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only they weren't so delicious. Surprisingly, you can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids. You know.
You know what? I fuck with that. So basically what he's saying is a little bit's okay, but don't eat too much. Okay, you know what? I'm still eating these things every once in a while. These things are good as fuck.
Like cigarettes.
I want some now. These things are good as shit. I don't care. I ain't giving up the Little Debbie.
When you hear the words banned breakfast cereal, you're probably imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels, like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp.
Never
So
had
you might
that.
be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on all of the earth, that has been banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned, while stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage? Ironically, because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals. Regulators argue that Kellogg's cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism, or GMO. More specifically, Special K is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose health risks, specifically to children and pregnant women. In conclusion, you may want to stick with Crunch Berries.
I'm not... Okay, nah, what the fuck's wrong with this? I was about to say, I never eat that cereal, so I could care less, but what...
You don't need to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the US, much like other foods like veal and pate, which don't make you sick but might make you sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not.
The fuck was that? Okay, to anyone who's squeamish, I'm about to rewind this because I feel like I missed something.
Which don't make you sick, but might make you sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed
what are they
goose
doing
liver
to the
is
goose?
illegal in parts of America now, tartare
That's fucked! I ain't never heard of that!
is not. See, while veal and pate may be uncool, they are also served hot. Unlike tartare, which is chopped up cold meat, straight from the cow. Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry. But considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic food one might say, you'd think countries might look the other way and let the luxury delicacy slide. And for a long time they did. In Canada, meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve, but those rules aren't strictly enforced. That is, until recently. In 2021, restaurant owners in New Brunswick selling steak tartare were all served cease and desist letters. Canadian public health officials had decided that amid the ongoing health crisis of COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
Alright, see, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see the point in that one, right? Because anyone with a right head would know that eating raw meat is kind of dangerous, right? Like, I think that's just the one where, like, okay, you can't be babysitting people. You gotta let people make their own choices. The other ones, they seem to have, like, little sneaky, stupid things that nobody would really realize, so I've been kind of for it. This one here, I'm not so sure about, because it seems pretty straightforward. It's like, hey, there's dangers to eating raw meat. Do it at your own risk. Not my addiction.
Is there anything more American than Coca-Cola?
Not my
The
addiction.
fizz, the flavor, the former secret ingredient, cocaine. Coke is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just
Whatever side effect here, I probably have it, because I drink way too much of this shit or Pepsi. Like, I am addicted to this
Americans who are cuckoo for Coke.
me.
Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI's drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries, making it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But there will always be exceptions, and unlike the other entries on the list, for once, it has nothing to do with health concerns. Everybody knows.
Oh, thank God. I'm safe. I'm safe. I ain't gonna die. I was afraid. I was actually kind of scared with this one.
Was that Coke is not good for you. We just decided collectively that we don't care.
That's fair. You know what? Yeah, that's fair. It's not. I know that damn well. I drink it like fucking water. Doesn't mean it's a good thing, but you know.
No, the countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism.
Oh, that's
From
stupid.
1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011. It resumed sales.
That's also stupid. Hey, you know what? You guys don't get any Coca-Cola. Like, oh, I don't think a fucking country ruler's gonna care. Unless they're me.
In the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S. North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950, and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel Castro seized supplies in 1962. First the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America.
Damn.
Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice, though black market sales abound.
I want to try that. Wait a minute. So it's like, so since they're one of the original manufacturers of Coke, that's probably like some old school. I want to try that.
After all, it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke.
I'm willing to bet this can be the same shit as the Skittles with the dyes, because I'm pretty sure they're fairly similar to little candies, so.
M&M's, the delicious melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand snacks, were originally a collaboration between the Scion sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties in 1941. Like Coca-Cola, M&M's gained international fans during World War II, as American soldiers popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature.
Oh, that's dumb. That's such a stupid...
Mars introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009. A court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the U.S.
Oh, shit.
Well, at least it's good to know that M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do you think? Which of these banned foods sounds the most delicious? Let us...
Honestly, I want to hear what you guys think. Out of all these foods, especially people from these countries, have you ever had them? What do you think about them? I mean, honestly, this was interesting to me. Some of the things... What the fuck was that goose? Some of these things I think I'm going to be traumatized by. God damn, poor goose, bro. But hey, man, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. You know how YouTube works, man. Let me know what you want me to watch next, and I'm out. Bye.